It is Saturday, April 4th, 2026, and this is CoeCast, the podcast that was stitched together by an overly ambitious pile of automations that definitely think they deserve producer credits. I'm Hunter.
And I'm Riley. If anything sounds a little too polished or a little haunted, congrats, that is the full machine orchestra at work. We left the weird in. It builds character.
It really does. And today we've got a good one. Microsoft just dropped 3 new Azure AI Foundry models, MAI Transcribe 1, MAI Voice 1, and MAI Image 2. Meanwhile, people on X are also buzzing about a next-gen OpenAI image thing people keep calling GPT Image 2, though that one still looks unofficial and rumor level. And in the open source corner, OpenClaw is getting a lot of attention as this local-first agent setup for people who love freedom, privacy, and occasionally breaking their own weekend.
That last part is so real. Open source people are always like, no, I have total control. And then 12 tabs later, they're eating trail mix over a Docker error at 1 in the morning.
Accurate. But let's start with the practical question. If you're a sane marketing team and Microsoft hands you transcription, voice, and image generation all in one cloud stack, what do you bring in-house first?
Transcription. Easy. Not sexy, but easy. It touches everything. Podcasts, webinars, customer calls, interviews, repurposing, clipping, localization prep. It is the least glamorous one, and maybe the most useful.
Yep, I'm with you. The boring middle wins again, and Microsoft is clearly aiming that way with MAI Transcribe 1. It is in public preview right now, priced around 36 cents per hour of audio, and Microsoft says it handles batch transcription across 25 major languages. Real-time transcription is not the thing today, though. That part is still planned.
And wait, important caveat, captions are not localization. People love pretending subtitles equal global strategy. That is like putting a spoiler on a Corolla and calling it a race car.
Yes, transcription helps localization, but it is not the whole job. Real localization still means adjusting tone, context, references, calls to action, maybe even examples and compliance language by region. But good multilingual transcription does remove a ton of grunt work at the front of that process.
Which matters a lot more now because we were literally just talking on the show about open models like Gemma 4 being useful in multilingual workflows. This week has kind of been screaming the same thing from different angles. Language, voice, and media are becoming workflow layers, not novelty buttons.
Exactly. And if your stack already lives in Azure or Microsoft land, the appeal is not just quality, it is consolidation. Fewer vendors, fewer handoffs, fewer weird exports between 5 tools that all claim to be your creative co-pilot.
The cursed phrase, creative co-pilot. Every tool is like, I am your co-creator. And then you try to generate a product graphic and it gives you 6 fingers and a label that says Blorpo Energy.
Which is why MAI Image 2 is interesting. Microsoft's big pitch there is stronger image quality, better prompt adherence, and better text inside images. And honestly, that last part matters the most for marketers.
Fully. Pretty images are everywhere now. The real pain is the messy middle. The ad mockup with fake UI text, the fake packaging with unreadable copy, the event poster where the headline looks like alphabet soup. If the image model can actually render labels, diagrams, interface elements, and cleaner text, that is a workflow shift.
Because then the human is not spending half the job cleaning up obvious AI damage. They're spending more time choosing, refining, and aligning to brand. That's a healthier division of labor.
I do want to challenge the hype a little, though. Better text rendering does not mean the team can stop thinking. It just means the model can produce more convincing wrong stuff. Like, if this rumored OpenAI image jump really has stronger world knowledge and cleaner interfaces, that is amazing and also dangerous. You can make a fake chart that looks very, very legitimate now.
Totally fair. This is the confident nonsense problem, just in visual form. Cleaner output raises the floor on usability, but it also raises the risk of slick-looking mistakes. So the human review step does not go away, it just moves up the stack. Less typo repair, more judgment.
Which, honestly, is where humans should be anyway. Taste, accuracy, brand, context. Machines can draft. They still should not be the final boss.
And that ties to the broader ecosystem this week. We've seen open model momentum with Gemma 4. We've been talking about AI video getting closer to actual campaign use with better consistency and lower cost. Audio models are becoming more deployable. Voice is becoming infrastructure. And now Microsoft is basically saying, hey, you can start wiring transcription, voice, and images into one enterprise-friendly environment.
Yeah, and that is the part creators should hear. This is not just for giant enterprise teams in blazers. A solo creator, agency, or lean marketing team can borrow the same logic. Start with the thing that creates the most reusable raw material. Usually that is transcript first. Then maybe voice if you do a lot of narration, explainers, or multilingual versions. Image comes in when your team is constantly mocking up campaign art, social graphics, thumbnails, product scenes, or internal creative concepts.
That order makes sense. Transcription first because it compounds. Voice second if you've got repeatable formats. Image third if you're prepared for review and brand controls.
Also, on voice, we need to talk about the line, because MAI Voice 1 is being pitched as more natural and expressive, and every brand is going to be tempted to make the immortal webinar host.
Ah yes, the suspiciously eternal brand spokesperson.
Exactly. Like, if your podcast host suddenly sounds identical in 12 languages and never gets tired, people are going to notice.
They are. I think the line is pretty simple. Synthetic voice is great for scale, accessibility, versioning, localization, maybe fast internal drafts. But if you're trying to present AI voice as a human who recorded it when they did not, you're asking for trust issues.
Thank you. Disclose it, use it where it helps. Don't get weird. This is not hard.
It shouldn't be, but here we are.
Here we are.
Now let's zoom out for a second because there is another big strategic question here. Do you bet on polished, closed platforms like Azure and OpenAI, or do you start flirting with open source systems like OpenClaw that promise privacy, flexibility, local control, and just a tiny chance of ruining your Saturday?
Tiny chance is generous. But honestly, OpenClaw is interesting because it points to where the market wants to go. People want local-first agents. They want data staying close to home. They want lots of skills and integrations without paying 17 subscriptions just to automate posting and coordination.
Right. OpenClaw matters less as a single product hero story and more as a signal. There is real hunger for agent systems that can run locally, keep memory, integrate across tools, and not trap you in one vendor's UX, especially for ops-heavy teams.
But I wouldn't tell a normal marketing team to jump straight into self-hosted agent chaos, unless they have somebody technical who enjoys this stuff. Open source freedom can turn into congrats, you are now the IT department very fast.
Very fast. That is the trade-off. Closed platforms usually win on polish, onboarding, guardrails, and support. Open systems win on flexibility, privacy, and cost control over time. The smartest non-delusional strategy is usually hybrid.
Say more.
Use closed tools where you need reliability, speed to value, and team-wide adoption. Use open or local systems where privacy, modularity, or cost predictability really matter, and route work accordingly. Don't turn this into a religion.
That is the answer people hate because it is sane.
Sane is underrated.
Especially in AI. Also, little side note, the chatter around Sora getting colder is part of this whole mood shift. People still love flashy media demos, but once pricing, monetization, and workflow friction show up, the spreadsheet starts asking harder questions.
Exactly. This is the year of opening the spreadsheet. If a model is amazing but too expensive, too hard to automate, or too annoying to fit into the stack, its wow factor fades fast. That is why Microsoft's launch matters. The question is not just are the outputs good, it is can teams actually operationalize them.
And for creators and marketers listening, that is your filter too. Don't ask what is coolest. Ask what removes the most friction from your current workflow without creating 3 new babysitting jobs.
That is the whole game. Human plus machine works best when the machine takes the repetitive middle and the human keeps intent, review, and edge case judgment.
Ooh, I like that. Also, Hunt, can I just say the hidden winner in all this is repurposing. Better transcription plus better voice plus better image generation means one source asset can become so many things way faster. Long video to transcript, transcript to clips, clips to captions, captions to multilingual versions, then supporting graphics around it.
Yep, that is the compounding effect. The real unlock is not one magic model, it is chaining capabilities together inside a workflow that actually respects how teams work.
Human in the loop, machine on the chores. Put it on a hat.
You and your merch ideas.
I'm right though.
You are. All right, let's land this. Microsoft's new MAI models look most useful when you treat them like production infrastructure, not just demo candy. Start with transcription if you want the fastest workflow payoff. Add voice where scale and localization matter. MAI Voice 1 is in public preview with 6 pre-built US English voices and pricing that starts around $22 per million characters, so that one is real infrastructure territory already. Bring in Image when you've got clear brand review and a real need for creative throughput. Keep humans on judgment, keep automations on the busy work.
And if you're feeling tempted by open source agent freedom, just make sure freedom includes backups, permissions, and somebody who knows what they're doing.
Please, for everyone's weekend.
Thanks for hanging with us on KoiCast.
And check out koi.com/resources for AI news and updates.
Subscribe too, because the robots worked really hard on this one and they are deeply validation motivated.
Catch you later.
Later.